Local housing experts say affordability pressures, aging homes, and rising costs continue to shape the Mahoning Valley's market, even as improving inventory and new economic growth fuel optimism for 2026. Also, the locally made film Brier Hill returns for a third screening December 21st. Those stories and more on today's Daily Buzz.
The Daily Buzz is brought to you by 717 Credit Union. 717 Credit Union. Savings power to give your business an extra boost. Business savings, certificates, and business money market. 717 Credit Union. Make your money work as hard as you do. Check out our business money market and CD rates at 717cu.com/rates.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Daily Buzz. I'm Mike Moliterno. The Business Journal recently convened a roundtable on housing and mortgages at the Courtyard by Marriott in Canfield. 10 panelists representing lenders, real estate brokerages, and home builders examined the state of the housing market in the Mahoning and Shenango Valleys, housing affordability, and mortgage rates. Business Journal Associate Editor George Nelson moderated the discussion. Panelists said overall housing inventory in the valley has improved compared to the tight conditions of the last several years. Homes are staying on the market longer, which has increased supply. However, they agreed that the greatest pressure remains in the first-time homebuyer price range, generally between $150,000 and $200,000. They said that is where more listings and more new construction are needed.
It's important to look at our inventory, and our inventory is a lot of on the market, but it's not one that is going to be something that a first-time home buyer wants to look at and get into. They want to look at a new constructed home. They want to look at something that is around 1,500 square feet, and they really don't want to go over $150 per square foot to build. So working with builders and developers and contractors in our community throughout Trumbull, Mahoning, and Columbiana counties, that is something that our developers and builders are up against. So we want to provide for the first-time home buyer the new construction, but you have to be somewhere where the infrastructure is already there.
As far as stats go in our area, and this is all tri-county area, is what's called absorption rate, and that is the months of inventory that we have on hand. So in a balanced market, we want 6 months of inventory. We haven't had that in years. Right now, we're right around 3.6 months of inventory in the tri-county area. So, so it's a healthy market. It's still more of a seller's market, depending on which pockets you go in.
Several speakers emphasized that while the number of houses for sale may look adequate on paper, many of those properties were built in the 1960s or earlier and do not match what today's home buyers want. They pointed to outdated systems, larger than needed floor plans, and the cost of bringing older homes up to current standards as significant barriers. At the same time, newly built homes often come to market at $350,000 to $400,000 or more, a price range that panelists said is out of reach for most local households.
We have to focus on affordability and getting them into homes between homeowners insurance, taxes, their principal and interest. They're looking for something that they can afford, and then if it's not the home they want, they need budget to be able to make the improvements that they want to make to it. So I think consumers are thinking it through, and that's where we're seeing more homes on the market. But we're also seeing the ones that fit this bill that we're looking at for these first-time home buyers, they're the ones that are selling quickly. Our pre-approvals are still staying out there because when that house hits, they're acting. So there is a lot of optimism to come with it, and a lot of focus that's needed to build the housing stack that our consumer wants.
The other aspect that as lenders, as communities, that we've got to focus on too is how do we address the ability for them to afford the payment but not have the down payment, not have the funds to get into a home, and how do we create programs and opportunities to be able to fill that gap of lack of down payment and closing costs, I think, are critical for us as an industry to close that gap.
In our local region, we have a lot to be excited about, hopeful about. Local economy, a lot of growth coming, and the buzz on that is huge population growth, and that is going to be the game changer.
You can read the full transcript in the Business Journal Roundtable series sponsored by Advanced Technology Partners under the Online Exclusives tab. A third screening of the new film Brier Hill is set for 5 p.m. December 21st at Columbiana Arts Theater in Columbiana. Tickets are $20 and are available through the theater's box office and website. Written and directed by Struthers native Jimmy Taaffe, Brier Hill premiered at the theater last weekend. The fictional drama follows a young couple that crosses paths with the mob and faces a life-changing decision. Set in 1977 in Youngstown's Brier Hill neighborhood, the film was shot in locations across the Mahoning Valley. The cast includes Johnny D'Andrea, Adriana Vanetti, and Peter Stephen Lucic. And a local youth advocacy group is partnering with business owners to create a new athletic training facility in East Liverpool's East End. The East Liverpool Youth Academy, a nonprofit that serves students in kindergarten through 12th grade, is teaming with Tom and Megan Beagle, owners of Power Fitness Gym on Pennsylvania Avenue. Part of the gym will be converted into the NextGen Athletic Lab, an indoor performance training center. Organizers say the new facility will give young athletes a dedicated space to train regardless of their sport and offer an environment different from what is available in school settings. And that is going to do it for today's Daily Buzz. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you'd like to dive deeper into any of these stories, links are available in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Mike Moliturno.
717 Credit Union. Savings power to give your business an extra boost. Business savings, certificates, and business money market. 717 Credit Union. Make your money work as hard as you do. Check out our business money market and CD rates at 717cu.com/rates.